And welcome to Cricketomania. It's all beginning now, and right here in Mumbai, where we are, as we watch the experience and the game unfolding in Australia. So, with me, Ayaz Memon, Chandresh Narayanan, and Debashish Datta, who joins us from Adelaide, who'll hopefully give us a sense of how it's all feeling right now. So, Cricketomania kicks off with this season, and let's find out what lies ahead. So, let me ask Ayaz the first question. Ayaz, 14th Feb, that's tomorrow, we kick off. What are your picks? What are the matches that you're looking forward to?
Well, obviously, India matches are the big draw, and the India-Pakistan match is the marquee match. But that's not the tournament. That's one of the highlights, a peak of the tournament. But the tournament itself is made up of all the matches. So I think India's progress in the World Cup is something that obviously one will follow. I dare say a billion and a quarter 1.25 billion people will follow it very closely. But there are some really interesting contests in Australia versus England, South Africa versus India. New Zealand versus Sri Lanka. Look, the top 8 teams, wherever they play against each other, is going to be of great interest.
Right. So, what about you, Chandresh?
I tend to agree with Mr. Memon. I think New Zealand versus Australia is one contest that I'm really looking forward to, because there are two really highly ranked sides in terms of favoritism going into the World Cup. Any India match obviously has the top billing that you associate with the tournament, but overall I think we'll be doing a disservice to the other teams if we just focus on the India-Pakistan match and not look at the other matches in the tournament.
Right, but here as we are sitting in Mumbai, maybe people want to know about the India side as well. Okay, so let's Debashish from Adelaide. How are things looking like? Is it? Are you feeling the excitement, the feverishness? Is it all happening there?
Adelaide. Although people know that Adelaide is a very sleepy city, because it's very idle city, and that is the reason Don Bradman wanted to settle down in this particular city and stayed there for the last 35 years. But this evening, from this evening onwards, whatever we are witnessing at the moment is totally different picture altogether, because 20,000 Indians and Pakistani supporters have already landed here.
I see.
Everywhere they are discussing only cricket, and there is no room in the hotels, there is no room in the restaurants, and I will not be surprised if people don't get the opportunity to eat tomorrow and day after. The taxi drivers, they will also go to the ground day after tomorrow morning, and if they go, we will struggle to reach the ground and come back after the game. So you can jolly well imagine what is the scenario here in Adelaide just for the Indo-Pak tie.
Right. So, Debashish, that's a nice shirt you're wearing, and I guess that goes with the sense of excitement and color in Adelaide there. What are you, tell us, what are you looking out for? What's your, the hierarchy in terms of either teams or players that you're most excited to be, most excitedly looking forward to?
I am keen that India should win, because India has not been doing well, and if they can manage to win the first match, I think the tempo would come. But at the same time, Pakistan is also thinking the same way, and they are thinking that doesn't matter, we will win this time and we will kill the jinx. If that happens, and there lies the clash and there lies the excitement, that if both the teams would try to win the first match, although both the teams know very well that they will reach the quarter-final stage. So hardly any importance about the result of the match, but India-Pakistan series, mere ko jeetna hai. This feeling is there in both the camps.
Right, and that's what we should look out for in another day after. Chandresh, what's your sense?
India-Pakistan, India has beaten Pakistan the previous 5 times that we have played in the World Cup. I just get a feeling that this time might be the first time that Pakistan beats India, because India is not in the best frame of mind, best form going into the tournament, and Pakistan's in a slightly better shape than India. They are a more well-rounded side than India. India's got a number of issues. So I think this time around it could well be Pakistan getting in and winning.
So does that make India an underdog in some ways?
Yes, it does. I think in some ways you can relate this to what happened when India won the first ever World 2020 in 2007. They were under the radar. No one gave them a chance. This time it's something similar. Maybe they surprise us like they did in 2007.
Right. Okay. Let me come back to Debashish. Debashish, are you feeling, for instance, and a lot of people are feeling so in India, that India is that the team is in particularly bad shape. It could be for two reasons. One is the composition, and the second is, of course, the track record, the recent track record. What's your sense, if you were to look at it more analytically?
Well, whatever we have seen in the last 2 days, the Indian team is practicing very seriously. I mean, they practiced for 4 hours yesterday and today at a place, so where in a college. Actually, it is a school, but they named the institution as the college, as the St. Peter's College. It's a beautiful place, and let me clarify the seriousness, that even after joining the prize distribution opening ceremony in Melbourne, Mr. Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the captain, joined the practice session today straight from the airport. So these are the small things that I could see, that yes, we have some problem in the bowling department. Ishant Sharma is not there, and just to tackle a tall gentleman like Mohammad Irfan, who is 7 feet 1 inches tall, I think they have adopted a policy of facing from a distance. So they placed 2 tools on the bowling run-up, and assistant coach Sanjay Bangar was asked to stand on the tool and throw the deliveries, so that they get the opportunity to practice at the net from a distance of 8 foot. So these are the small adjustments that Indian team is trying to organize, and they are hoping that they will do well.
Right. So I'm going to ask Chandresh to respond on that. I mean, do you think that's enough? I mean, are you getting comforted? But let's get Ayaz in once again. Ayaz, who are the players that you're watching out for?
Several players, several young players, several of the older players. MS Dhoni, he holds, I think, the key to India's success as a captain, as a batsman, as an inspiration. We've seen what he's capable of. Look, these are dodgy times for him and for Indian cricket in a sense, because we haven't done too well, and this could be the tournament which brings him back into the forefront and the limelight, as it were. Virat Kohli is the other guy. Ajinkya Rahane is somebody I'm going to watch very closely. Of the other teams, well, Steve Smith, he's had a golden run, a Bradmanesque run, if you may call it, and let's see what he does in the limited overs format. Mitchell Johnson, does he still have that firepower to run through teams? New Zealand, Kane Williamson, Brendan McCullum as a captain, Williamson a youngster, some of the Pakistani players. In fact, the Pakistani team, actually you're looking at the oldies, people like Misbah-ul Haq, Yunus Khan, Shahid Afridi, because a lot of their hopes are vested in these guys, the veterans. And so on. South Africa, I mean, A.B. de Villiers, Hashim Amla, Dale Steyn, Moni Mokkel, and so on and so forth. That looks like nearly an unbeatable, invincible kind of combination, but we never know in limited overs cricket. And then there's, of course, England, who I think have a terrific attack. They've got Anderson, Broad, Finn, all in good form, Chris Wokes. So though their batting looks a little iffy, but their bowling is very good, and in these conditions bowling matters. And then of course there are the island countries, Sri Lankans, again Kumar Sangakkara, Jayawardene, Dilshan, oldies are the guys who will be in focus, while where the West Indies are concerned, we don't know, because they are a mad team. Anything can happen on their day.
Okay. So as you also spoke about a lot of experience in the side, and will India miss the experience of the old, I mean the previous lot?
When you look at it, there's been a lot of argument about why Sehwag and Yuvraj and Harbhajan and some of the others are not there, and why is this such a young and inexperienced team. But actually they're not inexperienced. Rohit Sharma has been playing ODIs for the last 5-6 years. Virat Kohli too. Ajinkya Rahane since 2011. I think anybody who's played 50-60 matches, you can't call that player inexperienced. So in that sense, starting with Dhoni, who's got loads and loads of experience, and Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, I think there is a lot of experience in the batting. In the bowling is where you have a problem, because you don't have enough experience. Your most experienced bowler, Ishant Sharma, is back home. So Ashwin is then your most experienced bowler going into the tournament, which is not a great state to be in. And yet, look at it the other way. This is an opportunity for the youngsters to come and stake a claim and say, look, we belong here.
Right. So Chandresh, the point that Debashish was making, that there is a valiant effort on there in Adelaide. Is that enough?
That's not enough, because what we've seen so far on evidence in the Australia tour is that the batsmen are not able to cope up with the conditions over there, and that's a bit of a worrisome sign. And all these attempts that they're doing to counter Irfan, who's really tall, is good. But ultimately, there are some key batsmen like Shikhar Dhawan, who's not scoring runs. Virat Kohli is not really fired so far in the one-day matches. He did well in the test matches. So these are two key batsmen who did well for India when we won the Champions Trophy. I think with those two not clicking, the batting just goes haywire, and there's not much depth, and the others are not really contributing. So more than the bowling, I think the batting is also a concern for India, because they haven't done well except in the Afghanistan game, which was a warm-up match. They haven't really struck form, and that's a bit of a worry for me going into the World Cup.
Debashish, so bowling, there seems to be unanimity that we have a problem. What about batting?
Yes, there is a problem, but I do believe that, because they do not have any Anderson, I think they will be able to cope up with the pressure, and I will not be surprised if India can beat Pakistan on 15th the day after.
Okay, that's a fairly straightforward prediction there. What's your sense, if you want to go deeper into the batsman versus bowler question, Chandresh? I mean, how will we stack up in this match?
I think
against Pakistan,
traditionally it's been a contest between India's batting and Pakistan's bowling, because traditionally they've been stronger in the bowling and we've been stronger in the batting department. This time Pakistan's bowling has the depth, they've got the variety in the bowling attack, but India's batting is coming through after a series of poor scores and poor run with the bat for the batsmen. So in some sense, for Pakistani bowlers, the Indian batsmen are ripe for picking. So you might see that if Pakistan were to adopt the strategy of bowling first, they might be able to strike early, because the Indian top order lacks confidence right now, and once they get through the top order, the middle order is really shaky and hasn't done well so far. So this could well be the moment for Pakistan to strike and get the better of India finally. And
what's the relative experience like? So I mean, if you're saying each of these players, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, 50-60 matches each, does that firstly count as experience, and how does the Pakistan side look?
The Pakistan side is fairly experienced, because they have a very experienced middle order with Misbah-ul-Haq, who's about 40. He's been playing for about 8-9 years. He made his debut in 2002. There's Yunus Khan, there is Shahid Afridi, and they have Ahmad Shahzad, who's fairly young. In comparison, except Suresh Raina and Virat Kohli and Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the others are fairly new. Yes, they've been around for 5-6 years, but the pressure of an India-Pakistan match is something different. It's something new, and most of these guys are playing a World Cup match for the first time. Except 4 guys from the previous World Cup, the others are fairly new, and the pressure of a World Cup match, and that too an India-Pakistan match, is something different and something new.
So it's like almost like a double or a triple whammy, because it's also on a foreign ground.
Absolutely.
Right. And on foreign grounds, what is India's record versus Pakistan's record in one days?
Versus Pakistan, India in Australia has been mixed, in the sense that we've struggled. The last time we played Australia in 99-2000, we struggled to beat them in 4 matches. We won only once. Otherwise, in other places, where like in Dhaka or in Sri Lanka, we've done fairly well in recent times. So I would say that it's a mixed bag right now between India and Pakistan. But Pakistan goes in with a bit of confidence. India doesn't go in with any confidence.
Okay, right. So let's come back to the question that we in some way started with to Ayaz. Ayaz, a lot of pessimism, as you can see now, around India and its chances. Do you share that? Are you more optimistic than others?
Look, pessimism is based on run-in form, the way the team has performed over the last 6-8 months, maybe a year. I don't think pessimism is justified when you look at what the team has done over 2 years, and it becomes even less kind of meaningful when you look at what happens when tournaments are played out. Like in 1983, who gave India hope in hell of winning? Or in 87, Australia would win, or in 1991, 92, Pakistan would win. So I think a lot of these things kind of fizzle out. It's a high intensity tournament. It's how a team plays on a particular day which will determine whether that team loses or wins. South Africa, consistently a terrific team, have never reached the final. England, very consistent team, 3 finals, never won the tournament. These things happen. And the format of the tournament is such that you would expect the top 8 teams to be in the quarterfinals. After that, to win, a team needs 3 good days. And a top-notch team to have 2 or 3 bad sessions and you're gone.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Az. Chandresh, you wanted to ask Debashish something?
Yeah, I did. Debuda, hi, this is Chandresh here.
Hi, how are you? Good evening.
Good evening. Debuda, I just had a question for you. we've all been talking about the Indian team. What about the Pakistan team? How are they shaping up? Because we've just heard news about 8 Pakistani players being fined for breaking the curfew. And how's the mood in that camp? Because they usually are a volatile side, aren't they?
They are, but since they have not spent many days in Australia at the moment in this particular tour, they were jubilant enough, and the way they practiced this morning, they are really enjoying this elevated atmosphere. And after a long time, it was apparent that they are not suffering from any kind of tension. I think they are also certain that this time they will try to turn the table in their favor. And as a result of that, be it Shahid Afridi, be it Yunis Khan, or be it Mr. Irfan, they are all saying that हम लोग this time करके दिखाएंगे. तो चलिए हम करके दिखाएंगे. So it will be a tough contest for. I can only tell you that if Indian batsmen click, it will be difficult for Pakistan to counter-attack them. But if Pakistan bowling dominate over the Indian batsmen, then they will have the last laugh.
Okay, so let me come back to Ayaz again. Ayaz, do you like the format of the tournament? I mean, how it's all sort of set up and constructed?
Yes, it's a little long drawn, and ultimately you might argue, with the skeptics might argue that the only things which matter are the knockout matches. But I think when you want to expand the footprint of cricket and you want other countries to participate, you have to involve teams like Scotland, Ireland, and so on and so forth. They're here to play and perhaps knock over a team or two.
Right, and Chandresh is going to be is doing a lot of interesting writing around the other teams that are not in the eye, so to speak, and there are some very fascinating stories.
Absolutely. I think that the other teams will surprise us during this World Cup, because we've already seen Ireland beating Bangladesh and Sri Lanka losing to Zimbabwe, Scotland almost beating West Indies. So I think we are in for more than a surprise, and I think there are fascinating stories in all the sides. I think we should watch out for some of them in this World Cup.
And we'll be reading about them as well as Chandresh puts his dispatches together. Debashish?
Yeah.
Did you want to say something? I thought we wanted to add something too.
Well, I would only add one thing, that koi bhi team jeete, there should be sanctity, there should be good spirit. Whether India wins or Pakistan wins, we all should live peacefully, and we are on a foreign country. We should know that the Asian countries, cricket is far better, far more exciting than the other few countries. And all the best. We should enjoy the World Cup. Everybody, whoever we are, wherever we are, we all should enjoy the World Cup.
Right, Debashish, and it does look like you are having a good time, and we wish you all the best. Before we go today, and let's sort of get a pick for the tournament winner. Do you have a pick as of today?
Well, I will go with Australia.
Okay. Thanks for that, Debashish. Chandresh?
New Zealand.
Okay, New Zealand, and let's get Ayaz. Ayaz, who's your pick for the winner?
I've been very impressed with New Zealand's form. They have the advantage of playing at home. Last 15 months across formats, they've been in terrific. They've looked a very, very good team. But you can't discount South Africa and Australia. Obviously, I mean, that's a no-brainer. The 4th place in the semis seems to me, I think India is still a very good team. A lot of people have been rubbishing Dhoni's team, but I think we might have a surprise in store. So if they get into that situation, quarters and then semis, then it's difficult to predict a winner.
Okay, so it's all happening in one part of the world, New Zealand and Australia. Two of our panelists, Chandresh and Ayaz, have said New Zealand, and Debashish out there in Adelaide has said Australia. Of course, he is in Australia. So, okay, thank you very much, folks. Debashish, see you in our next round of discussions when we talk about the games as they start picking up, and of course the India-Pakistan match. This was Cricketomania's first episode going into this World Cup 2015. See you, folks, and have a great one.